Hi everybody, my name's Rich. I'm the Global IT Director at Techbuyer. With me is Josh, our Sales Director. He's going to give us a little chat about refurb and the business, and we're going to lean on his experience a little bit to find out more about Techbuyer and how things are done here. So I guess the first big question, Josh, is why do people choose refurb when there's other options available?
There's loads of reasons why people choose refurb. One of the first and main ones for me is the availability. There's always been a need to have things fast in IT, and it's something that we can do. We hold all the stock here, so the ability to get things to people the next day is a huge play for us, and something that a lot of other companies can't keep up with. There's often a big price difference as well.
Right, okay. So how big? Like quite sizable?
Yeah, sometimes if you drop back a generation in the servers, you can often get very similar performance for a fraction of the price. It can be up to 75%.
Right, so quite massive savings.
Huge savings when you kind of look at, if you're spending 10,000, you can spend 2.5, and you can get a solution that will do the same thing.
Do you think that's why refurb's strong then? Because you can match the requirements to what's available as opposed to just going for the latest and greatest?
I think that's why it's really strong, because a lot of the time as well, companies don't actually understand they don't need the latest and greatest. There'll be companies out there doing some crazy computing, and they'll need the high-end stuff. But for most kind of small businesses and medium businesses, they need something kind of relatively middle of the road, and so they don't need to spend a fortune on the latest hardware. It's as simple as that, really.
Do you find that because you've got good relationships with your customers, you can get that information out of them, that you can find out what they need? I mean, I'm guessing that's the key part of the role, right, is matching need to equipment.
Exactly right. We work with our customers to get them what they need, rather than sometimes what they think they need. Because when you start looking, you tend to look at the new stuff first, and you go on a website and it will bring up the new stuff first. And so naturally you look there, but our customers contact us, give us like a breakdown of what they need, and we kind of build the solution around them.
So talk to me about performance of new parts, and is there any difference between new and refurb parts on a part-for-part basis?
There's no difference. Once installed, it'd be exactly the same. You wouldn't notice a difference. In fact, most stuff goes into a cupboard or a data center, and the customers, probably 95% of the time, will never ever see this kit. All they'll know is that it's running. So once it's running for them, they're absolutely delighted. If that warranty's there on top of that, they've got everything they need.
So what's changed over time in the business? You've been here sort of 9 years now. Like, what's the big changes, do you think, that the business has gone through, other than its, significant growth?
It's hard to kind of like say something significant has changed, because we just look to change things every day. Like, we look to make things better every day. We've got a team that come in, and every day they're trying to make something better. No one sits on the laurels. Everyone comes in and they're like thinking of the next thing we can do. It's like, the way we test things, we started testing things really well, and then we went, how can we test things faster? And now we've just developed a tool where we can test things the same standard, but we can do 20 at a time. So we're kind of now increasing the capacity, which for a customer means if they need 20 of this particular item, they can get it 20 times faster.
Yeah.
Which kind of gives us, again, it goes back to the availability in the IT market. People need things quickly, and if we can provide that, it's a huge thing for our customers. The business is looking to be a lot more environmental as well. We now repair a lot of kit, or send a lot of kit away to get repaired, which stops it going into landfill, which again is a massive thing for not only the environment, but a lot of companies as well, ethically nowadays. And it's something that we're quite proud of, that we've managed to do that. We do a lot of the ITAD stuff as well. And again, this is taking back used and refurbished kit and bringing it back to the market. So that's something that's changed a lot as well. Previously, people would throw away their old kit because they didn't think it was worth anything, but now there's a lot more kind of emphasis on the circular economy, and we fit in perfectly to that.
So what do you think upon the key constraints around like the expansion of refurb into more sectors, or as it being a bigger market share? What do you think is the main thing stopping it?
I think there's probably policy stopping it. there'll be things in place that have been there for many years where a company just buys new. But I think they need to be reviewed because people are really missing out on something that could provide great value for their company and give them the same performance. The government could use refurb. They could save millions with the amount of kit that they'll have.
So why don't they do it?
Policies. On some of the government tenders, it's can only accept new.
Why is
so
that?
they need to evaluate them and look at how the refurb market has changed and how it's advanced, which is a massive thing. And then from there, the benefits that it can actually provide to them buying IT solutions.
Tell me your favourite sales story. What's the best sale you've made?
The ones that give you satisfaction as well are ones where a customer has come to you and they previously have bought new, and you kind of get them to turn around in that first instance to refurb, and their kind of reaction to not only kind of how it works, but like the price point sometimes is like, really? You're like, yeah, that's the same, but it's not going to like perform half as slowly because it's half the price. Oh no, that'll do exactly the same thing. Like those kind of ones are nice, where you've almost converted someone to kind of understanding this like new world they can spend their IT budget in. So the IT director's going, oh, I've got 10 grand and now I can get twice as much kind of thing. So they absolutely love it. It's amazing. That's
cool, man.
That's rewarding.
Yeah, that's awesome. I kind of want to know why you think people are choosing refurb right now. Why refurb more than anything else? You know, the business has grown this year more than any year before, and primarily that's on our refurb offering. Why do you think that is?
I think the current climate plays a factor. People have got tightened budgets. I mean, with the whole COVID thing, businesses have been shut, some of them. So their budgets might not be looking at IT, but they'll need IT to kind of back everything up. So they're looking at a more cost-effective method to get from A to B, and they can do that using refurb.
Do you think the hand's been forced then? Or do you think they would have got here on their own?
I think they would have got here on their own. It just might have taken a bit longer. Some people's hands will be forced because they will have a smaller budget, so they will have less money to play with. But once they understand that that budget can actually go a long way, and they can actually get a refurb solution that's going to be absolutely brilliant for them, with warranties matching new, they're delighted.
What do you think is the main barrier for refurb? Like from your experience, what do you think? Why don't people? You know, if people understood, why wouldn't they do it more often? And I'm talking about individual people here, not necessarily organisations.
Yeah, I think it's the perception of it. I think the perception is like yet to catch up how advanced refurb actually is. So the perception of it is probably 10 years behind where refurb actually is now. So people still think the kind of connotations behind refurb and used kit is that it's just not going to be as good. When in fact, it's completely the opposite now. It's, other than being in a nice shiny box, it is as good.
I guess you're seeing more of that now with sort of like gift card offering, refurb mobile phones advertised on mainstream TV and advert channels. Like, is that a hard sell for you?
No.
Why?
Because people just understand it more. It's becoming kind of more mainstream. Like you say, with phones, cars, houses. People actually, once you kind of explain this to them, realise they buy used maybe more than they think. And with IT, it's no different.
So what's good about Techbuyer? What do we do better than anyone else?
The response time for me is a massive thing. If I contact a company, I want a response kind of now. I don't want to have to wait 2 hours, 2 days, 2 months, 2 years. But like here, it's super responsive. We'll be back to our customers within 2 minutes. Like, the phone is answered by a person. There's no robots on the end. it's an amazing thing to get back to someone quickly, to give them an answer. If you don't know the answer, to quickly go away and find the answer. We just do everything we can to make it easy for them.
So how do you find it from an experience point of view? Like, we've been growing for the last 15 years, a lot of experienced people in the business now. How does that benefit us? What does that experience bring?
The experience kind of brings an assortment of things, because we've got an assortment of people. So we've got guys in sales who understand how systems go together. We've got guys in purchasing who know how to get parts that we might not have if we need to get them for a customer. We've got guys in the warehouse who know how to set all the equipment up and make it customer ready so it's plug and play once it goes. We've got guys in the shipping team who can make sure stuff arrives in exactly the same condition it came from here. And the experience of those guys as well is always like a learning experience. So if they see something that's going wrong, they add to their experience and make it go right almost immediately. We never let anything slide, and we just make things better on the spot.
You talk about warehouse. So warehouse has got like 60 odd people in it. What advantage does that give us?
Warehouse will probably have close to 100 people in it now. And that gives us many different things. We get about £500,000 worth of kit come through the door a day, and having such great people down there means we can process that really quickly, have it in stock, and once it's in stock, it's ready to be with you the next day. So that speed, along with the accuracy that we have from our stock control team, the testing team, the goods out team, kind of gives the full package